In today's video, I will be unboxing a submission from CGC that I just got back. It's a bunch of modern books, and I think I'm going to nickname this batch the Lessons Learned. Um, Probably should have thought through some of these before I decided to get them slabbed. I was going with nostalgia. Maybe I'll call it the Nostalgia Batch. That has a better ring to it. That's what I think. But we're going to unbox these. We're going to see what grades I got, and we're going to see how this one goes. Hi, and welcome to Swarm of Comics. I am Randy, your handsome and humble host. Today, I have a whole batch of books back from CGC, 25 modern submissions. Most of the stuff I was just pulled out of my personal collection or books I got recently. No big, I don't think there's any big stunners in here, but like I said in the intro video, it's probably, as I was looking the CGC submission page, waiting to see when they were going to submit it, like waiting for all the stages and like, is it waiting for grading? Is it in grading? Is it shipped? I went back and I looked at the books, and I honestly think I should have thought through some of these a little harder. Um, Ultimately comes down to, why are you grading them? Is it to display them? Is it for monetary purposes? Is it for flipping? Is it for preservation? And I think I've just started getting a little slab happy. That's a new thing, a trademark, Swarm of Comics, slab happy. And I had to put the brakes on it. After I looked at what was in the submission, I went back to Tom Anderson at the Silver Age Comics on Instagram, who does my pressing for me and submitting. I said to him, "Hey, Tom, how many books of mine do you have to submit?" He says, "Oh, 100 or something like that." And I asked him if we could meet up again. And we meet up in a Dunkin' Donuts that has a conference room. I've never seen that before. But we meet up, we go into this conference room, clean off all of the crumbs off all of the conference chairs. And I asked him if I could go through all the books again and see what I put a more careful eye on what I should be slabbing and not be slabbing. Some books just aren't worth it. They just aren't worth doing. And you really have to think about that when you're slabbing. There's the cost of slabbing, there's the shipping, there's the pressing if you need that done. And ultimately, you can be underwater on that book. Maybe you don't care. You've seen in some other videos of mine that I didn't care on some books. But I mean, there's a book that I put in there that I didn't realize was a third print. Unless it's some super rare third print variant, it's worth far less than what I even paid for it. And I should have been more careful. So I took back about 20 or 25 books from Tom. Maybe I'll do them another day, but I had to have a little more, go over with a fine-tooth comb about what I'm going to be submitting for future batches. This batch, it's a little too late. So I'm going to yank these out of here one by one, let you know a little bit about it and why I slabbed it. And there better be a good story behind it, because it certainly wasn't for investment purposes. So I'll yank it out of the bag. I'll cover up the grade, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. I never know even which side the grade is on. It's over here. All right. So, well, it's a 9.2. I guess I spoiled that right off the bat. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 7. 1985. Of course, this is a George Perez cover, Marv Wolfman story. Beautiful book. Didn't even know I had it. This is the, most infamous cover on here, and this cover archetype is used over and over again. But I thought I'd get this done because I thought I had a good chance of coming in higher than a 9.2. But, and again, it has 0 spine ticks. It's a little cut off centered, but that's not my fault. The back cover has a little mark on it, but this looks like it came from the printer. But to 9.2, it's the death of Supergirl. So this is a book right off the bat I probably didn't need to bother getting graded. It doesn't have super significance to me, but I thought it could have been a 9.8. I probably should have done a pre-screen. And I said, oh, let's get this done. But I don't care about Crisis. I'm not a big DC person. I'm sure it's a fantastic book. I probably read it in 1985. This definitely would have been an investment book. And a 9.2 probably just doesn't get there. So I have to think a little more carefully about these. All right, moving right along to the next book. We're going to see what else is in here. Now I remember which side to cover up. I don't know why I'm covering up. It's not like I predicted the grade. I don't know. I submitted them because I thought they'd get good grades. I had a Deadpool in another one. It came in at 9.8. I don't know why I had two of them, but let's see what this comes at. Even at a 9.8, I don't think this book is very pricey. I don't know. I'm going to guess $100, $130 or something like that. A dog's barking at something. I gave him a dirty look. That works, right? So let's see what we got in the Deadpool. 9.6. So the other one was a 9.8. This is a 9.6. They're pretty much the same condition, I would say. But I have this now. Again, I already had one and it came in a 9.8, so I'm not sure why I submitted again. Maybe it was greed. Not a huge Deadpool fan. So that was probably a mistake as well. That is in the lessons learned file right there. I had to pull way back on them. So no big story behind either of those. I think I was just hoping for really good grades. I got 9.8 happy. Look at all the 9.8s behind me. I just, thought it was worth doing. And I really got to pull it back and think about these more carefully because this costs money. You submit 25 books and with pressing and shipping and getting it done, 25 books times, let's say it's going to end up being $35 a piece. I'm not good at math, professor, but that's a lot of money to be doing on these books. And a bunch of the books that I pulled back from getting submitted in the future were vintage. So they're 30 something dollars a piece, plus getting pressed. So I really had to not bankrupt myself for that. So what do we have next here? Oh, this is Invincible Iron Man number 7. First appearance of somebody, first appearance of Riri Williams, SpiderMan and War Machine. So Invincible Iron Man number 7. This book, as I was going through comics, I don't even think I realized this was worth any money. I just had this. It wasn't even in a bag or a board. So let's see what I got. 9.6. Probably deserving because I didn't even have it in a bag or a board. I have to check the price on that. There's no spine ticks. I'm not sure why it's a 9.6 and not a 9.8. I have a feeling you hear people say that a lot. I'm not sure why it's not a 9.8. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Must be something I'm missing. But 9.6 in this. First cameo appearance of Riri Williams, who is Ironheart, who is, of course, took over for Iron Man. So cool book, though. I liked this series. So that was pretty good. That was worth getting done. 9.6. Not bad. We're not knocking them out of the park here, guys. We're not knocking them out of the park yet. I've thought about that before when I'm doing these submissions. Is I had a beautiful golden age batch of books that I got done. I mean, Submariner number 16 from 1945, Avengers number 4, and then I did a Silver Age batch with absolutely killed it. Had some beautiful books in there. And then this Modern Age batch back here. Spoiler if you haven't watched that video. These are just all 9.8s. These are beautiful. A 9.8 X-Men 142. Who even has a 9.8 of that? That's just amazing. And I was a little bit worried this batch was going to be a downer. And so far, we're 0 for 3 or 3 for 3 on downers. But this is another book. I don't think this is much of an investment book, but what an absolutely beautiful, amazing Frank Miller cover. I've had this book since I was a kid. Captain America and the Punisher. So this is, of course, Punisher appearance, Captain America 241, 1980. It's a newsie. They're probably all newsies in 1980. So let's see what we got. 9.2. That's pretty good. It's got a couple of like a corner crunch there. Yeah, I could see that being a 9.2. Beautiful cover, though. Beautiful cover. So that's definitely one for display and probably not for investment purposes in the future. I'm not selling my books. I'm not flipping my books. I don't plan on selling them anytime soon. But you have to have that in the back of your mind. What if someday I need to sell them off? What if I, have some type of hard times and I want to get rid of them, or I decide to retire and I want to, move to Nicaragua and smoke cigars in the jungle with my buddy Dave, and I need money for it. Who knows? So what do we got here? Sentry. Absolutely loved this book when it came out. The Sentry came out, and the way the Sentry was pushed when it came out was that they were digging through the archives in Marvel Comics and they found this character in this book that they had done, and they brought the character back to life. And it was in the news. It was in the news circulation and everything like that. Like they pushed this big fib about this book to get publicity for it, and then of course it was a fraud. They made it all up for publicity and so forth. But the idea of the Sentry was the Sentry had been around in Marvel Comics, and then somebody made everybody forget about him, the character in the books, because he was so powerful and he just lived a regular everyday life named Bob. And he was both the hero and the villain. He was the Void and the Sentry. And I thought I'd submit this book. I sure wish I had taken care of it better. I don't even think it was in a bag and a board. So my guess is it's going to come in at a 9.2 if I'm lucky. And but it is a fun one to have done. First appearance of the Sentry, Robert Reynolds from 2000. Love this series. And he's going to be appearing, I think, in the Thunderbolts. There was in the news that Stephen Young had left wanting to be this character. So anyway, that's enough about the Sentry. Great book, great character. 9.8. Came in at 9.8. Forgive me if I sound like a broken record. I'm looking at this book. The spine's all jacked up in the back. I have no idea why this would come in at a 9.8. I'm not complaining, but the other books being a 9.6 or 9.2, this is not in any better shape than that. So as if anybody needed to complain about CGC anymore these days. But 9.8, beautiful. See, we got our first knock it out of the park. That could be worth literally tens of dollars. But more importantly, I like the book. Yeah, and one of the things I like about it is that it's got Jay Lee cover. Sorry, I'm going back to it again. I have some Jay Lee original artwork. One of the issues, one of the pages from The Thing versus Hulk. I have a custom drawing from Jay Lee, a little picture I did at a con. He did at a con of SpiderMan for me. And so I love his artwork. It's fantastic stuff. All right, next one out of the book. Batch here. Out of the box. Batgirl special. Okay. This had been around. My guess is it's going to come in at a 9.0. I just had this. Again, not a big Batgirl. Maybe this was all the buzz in 1988 with Batman and the Killing Joke and everything like that. I don't remember why I had picked this up at the time, but cool Batgirl special here. So let's see what it got. 7.5. I was in close with the 9. 7.5. That could be worth $4 to $5. Don't know. I have to look at the notes on that, but not too worried about it. Again, probably shouldn't have submitted it, but I do love the Mike Mignola cover, of course. He did a beautiful Batman cover back then. That's, I think, very underrated. And of course, I love him for all of his Hellboy stuff and everything like that. So cool cover. Not why sure it's a 7.5, but cool book. Cool book. Batgirl special. What do we got next, guys? Stick with me here. We got a 25 books. Infinity Gauntlet. I think I have 2 of these in here. I couldn't tell you the grade. If I was to guess, I'm going to say 9.2. I think, and honestly, for this to be an investment book, which I don't necessarily need it to be, these need to be 9.8s for anybody to care. They printed 1 billion of them, but I did love this series. So I submitted the 2 that I had. If I had to go back and do it all over again, most of these books would not have been submitted. I might not even had a submission, but it certainly wouldn't have been 25 books. So let's see what this is. 9.6. Okay. It's a pretty good shape. Must be something I'm missing about it for it being 9.6, but there it is. I think there's 2 in here. I'm not 100% sure. So let's see what happens with the second one if it's in here. Also, if you dig my shirt, I'll put a link down in the comments for this. You can get it off TeePublic. So Pretty cool shirt. I love the shadow. I love the old pulps. In the last video that I recorded, I had Weird Tales pulp. You can also get that on TeePublic as well. Love cool shirts, unusual and different shirts. So that's your little commercial break in there. I wonder if YouTube will nail me for, pushing products or anything like that on here. So what do we got next? Star Wars Dark Empire. I have this whole series, and I was surprised at how, I don't know, but with Star Wars being so hot for so long, I was surprised that this didn't have more interest and wasn't as, priced as high or anything like that. But anyway, I loved this cover. This is beautiful. So I thought I'd throw it in there. Where Dark Empire, 1991. I've had this since 1991. I bought this new, so we're going to see what grade it gets. 9.4. It's cool, considering I've had this book for 30-something years, and I guess I'll take that 9.4 on that. Probably not going to be able to quit my job with a 9.4 of Dark Empire #1, but this was certainly a beautiful cover and a beautiful book to display. That was definitely one I was happy to get no matter what the grade was. So, all right. No complaints on that. None of this is a complaint. I'm just giving you guys information that, this is the lessons learned batch. I got Slab Happy, trademark Swarm Comics on that, saying Slab Happy there. What do we got next? This was certainly only submitted because I love this book and I love this series. It's worth probably nothing, and the grade is probably an 8.0, but I love it and I wanted this book slab. So this was certainly one that was going in no matter what. I remember actually having the conversation with Tom that said, not even great shape, not in high demand, but this is an absolute amazing series that came out in 1988 that we've had since 1998. This was probably my brother Bill's series. And when he gave me his collection years ago, that's how it ended up in my possession. So I wanted to get this first one done because this is beautiful. 9.6, way better than how is this better than the Star Wars? But this has an entire crunch on the back. I don't know if I'm ever going to get that angle. Yeah, right there, that crunch. And it's a 9.6. But that Star Wars that doesn't have a flaw on the back of this book is a 9.4. So I hope I'm not talking you out of slabbing books or going to CGC, because it still is fun. So 9.6, not being funny or goofy here, but if you would have told me this is an 8.0, I would have believed you. It just, that's a surprise. But a happy surprise. See, we're happy. Look at our smiles. Big smiles. Big smiles. All right. Digging in here. Some more books. Making a mess on the floor with plastic bags. Let's cover up that grade, baby. Oh, Thor. I got this book. This is 1976 Thor Annual #5. Now I'm scared now that I look at the condition. I looked at this condition on this and said, it's not an expensive book. I got it super cheap, but it was in such good shape. Getting something like this done, it's a beautiful cover too, that I just wanted to get it graded. And of course, now in retrospect, I'm looking at this and I said, I never should have got this book graded. I should never have wasted money on this book. At least it fell under the modern category, and it was because 1975 and I didn't pay vintage prices for it. But in my head, when I saw this book and I gave it for a press and everything, I was like, oh man, this book could be a 9.4, 9.6. Are you ready for my disappointing? I'm going to prepare myself with the disappointment face. Are we ready? Oh, okay. 9.4. There's no disappointment face. This is worth doing. Again, another book that literally is worth tens of dollars, but 9.4 on that book from 76. Okay. Then my instincts were right. Sometimes I'm actually right, guys. Quit my job here. I'll quit my job. Getting through them here. Not in great shape, but I wanted to get it done. I have a couple of the rest. I have the rest of the series too, with these absolutely amazing SpiderMan, Craven the Hunter series. I have to dig them out, but I have the other ones too. I don't know why this one of all of them got submitted. Maybe I thought it was in the best condition or something like that. But this is a newsstand, 1987, spectacular Spider-Man 132 with this beautiful series, amazing series. I got to dig out the others with the great covers on them and submit it. So this came in at a 9.4. Okay, cool. Also, I love the back of this. I'll never forget this because it was the worst logo ever for Meatloaf up there. Like you couldn't have done anything else. Like poor Meatloaf. R.I.P. Meatloaf. It was fantastic. But so this is pretty good. That came in at 9.4. I like that. Of course, beautiful Mike Zeck covers. I mean, he was doing everything major back then. He was doing the Punisher limited series. I think the Punisher limited series is in here. Maybe that's in the next batch. #1. But cool. A newsie on Peter Parker 132. I got to dig out the rest of them and get those submitted. I'm not sure why this one might have. Again, not breaking the bank or anything like that. Hold on. There we go. Much better. I'm digging around in a big box here. They're all just sitting here. Make sure you go watch my other videos. If you stumble across this, go watch the other videos. You'll enjoy them. There'll be much better books than these are. But these are fun. See, we're having fun. This is just a fun video. 8 Billion Genies. Another one I was convinced was going to be a 9.8, and it was a cool book. And this is going to be a book that's going to be everybody's going to love. But by the time I got it, I gave it to Tom, and then it got pressed, and then it got submitted. Nobody gives a one single crap about 8 Billion Genies. And he told me that this book is completely jacked up and I should not have submitted it. Maybe his press did some magic. So let's see what 8 Billion Genies by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. This is just from 2022. This came in at a 9.8. Oh, okay. Tom Anderson must have done some, my guy must have done some good magic there. So 9.8 of 8 Billion Genies. And there are not 8 people who care about this, but this is a good series. If you haven't read it, it's a limited series. I think there was 8 issues or something like that. And it was really good to start. The first 2, 3, 4 issues were really good. And then it just got ridiculous. And then the last issue kind of pulled it all together and not made sense, but redeemed itself a bit. But this series, in my opinion, went off the rails after the first couple of issues. But cool, a 9.8 on 8 Billion Genies. Batman, Death in the Family. This is part 2. I submitted part 1 in the last video and it came back like a 9.4. And although it was cool and I'm glad I got it done, a 9.4 in that book was worth way less than what I even paid to grade it. So I don't have high hopes for this one. I don't even know if in that other book, part 1, you know, it's the infamous cover. If you saw my other video of a young Bruce Wayne sitting on the ground with his parents dead next to him and everything like that. You know, obviously this is part 2 of the Year One saga. First appearance of Carmine Falcone, 1987. We've had these books since then. We like the Batman books back then. So let's see what this one comes in at. 9.6. The other one might have been a 9.6 too. And this is probably worth not $9.06. But cool cover. Love that. That's David Mazzucchelli. If you read the old Daredevil books back in the Frank Miller run, he was the inker, and then he took over as the artist in that book. And that was still stellar. When Frank Miller was still writing, but Mazzucchelli was doing the art. So awesome cover. I probably should have done this one first instead of bothering with the first part, because this is one, like even in a 9.6, a 9.2, a 9.80, doesn't matter. That color cover's just absolutely underrated and stunning. So fun book. We'll put that in the fun pile, not in the investment pile. Hey, listen, I'm not going to lie. I hope someday my books are worth a lot of money. I hope someday when I go to sell them in 10, 20, 30 years or something like that, or my wife goes to sell them or something like that, they say, oh yeah, this collection's worth $500,000. This is the Swarm of Eyes pedigree, and Heritage will auction them all off for me. Of course, that's what I'm hoping for. You know, I do it for fun. I'm not selling them now. I don't flip them. This is just cool. And this is fun to do. But of course, I hope they're worth money someday. That's part of collecting. That's okay. I feel like a lot of people make you feel guilty if you do anything for investment. I'm certainly doing a lot of investment. But I can enjoy the hobby at the same time. You know, I can enjoy my New Mutants 98 here. I can enjoy it. And then someday it could be worth money. So let's see what we got. Detective Comics number 1000. This is a great homage to an old detective's covers with the Joker and everything like that. This is a hardbound book. This weighs about 2 pounds. It's so heavy. This only came out in 2019. Bruce Timm cover, of course, who did the Batman the Animated Series. Everybody loves the Bruce Timm stuff. So got this Dark Knight here. Pretty excited about that homage cover. First appearance of Arkham Knight in DC Universe continuity. 1940s variant cover. I don't think it was a rare variant or anything like that. I just saw it and needed to have it because that was beautiful, considering especially how I'm enjoying the Golden Age books. So let's see what it came in at. 9.2. That's pretty low for a brand new book that's a hardcover that doesn't have an absolute single flaw on this book. Okay, so that's the first one I'm actually upset about. There is not even a thing wrong with this book. Now, the trap is it's not worth trying to get a 9.8 or a higher grade on this. Isn't worth it. This isn't a rare book. There's not even a thing wrong with this book. There's not a fingerprint on it. There's nothing wrong with the spine. It's never even been opened. I have another copy that I read that is a different cover. Wow, I wish you guys could see this. You probably can't. It's probably going to be like coming in and out. There is nothing wrong with that book, not front or back. The worst thing about this book is that advertisement for that terrible movie. There's nothing wrong with that book. There's not even, and there's going to be no grader's notes. Nobody puts grader's notes on a book from, 5 years ago. That's disappointing. I like it, and it's cool to display, but that's certainly disappointing. If anybody was here and paying the ticket price for my disappointment, that's the one. Wow. That was ridiculous. Sorry, that was absolutely ridiculous. Simpsons. So this was in a poly bag when I submitted it, and I don't even know if it was never in a bag and a board. I have no idea the condition, but this is of course fun with Bartman on the cover. I did a Futurama in another issue that came back as a 9.6. Cool cover. I don't know how rare this is. I don't know if it's worth any money, but I love the Simpsons. I've watched them since they were on the Tracy Ullman show. We watched Tracy Ullman show on Fox back in 87, 86, 87, around there when the Simpsons first came out. So this one kind of had sentimentality for me, so I wanted to get it done. 9.4. Not as good as that 9.6, but I could see that. It was just kind of knocked around that bag. Oh, I can see it's kind of got some wonkiness right here. Can you see it? I don't know. Right there. I can still see this. Could have been a 9.6, but cool. That's all right. Not disappointed in that at all. I've had this book since 93. So fun book to get done. Worthless, but fun. That book in a 9.8 would definitely be good money, I think. All right. Let's see. The disappointment train is stopping in the station. Oh, here I did submit another one here from the Craven Saga. This is part 5. Obviously, super infamous cover. I don't think I submitted the one with him coming out of the stomping on Spider-Man's grave, but I submitted this. This was worth doing too. 1987. Death of Craven the Hunter, Vermin Appearance, issue 294. Let's see what this comes in. If I'm going to guess, I'm going to say 9.2. 9.4. So a little bit better than I expected. Awesome series, awesome cover. Those are the ones I happen to come across. I got to find the others. Yeah, no complaints on a 9.4. I did this before in other videos, and I don't mean to be annoying here, but there is not even a chance that this brand new book that's never even been opened and has the hardcover is in worse condition than this. It's just not. It's just not. It doesn't even begin to make any sense. But here we are. So pretty happy about that. 9.4. Stacking those up nice there. Let's see what's next. Pull them out of the magic box. Guardians of the Galaxy. Love this series when it came out. I love the whole Annihilation Saga and everything. That was a fantastic, completely underrated. Utilized this sort of cosmos spanning characters and books and revitalized a bunch of franchises nobody cared about. And it was absolutely knocking it out of the park. Good. And I absolutely loved it. So this was Guardians. This is 2008. This is first issue of this, but obviously not. I don't think the first appearance of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think there's any super significance to this, but I did want to get it graded. I figured I'd throw that in there. It's a 9.8. Cool. Came in. That's pretty good. I like that. Broken Record Time. Still not probably worth investing in and spending the money on, but it's a cool book and I like it and I got done. These are like passion books. How about that? We'll call them passion books because they certainly were not investment. This is the lessons learned. Okay. Doctor Who. Ooh, absolutely probably a 7.0, 7.5. Don't care. I started watching Doctor Who when it came on TV on PBS up here in 1970s. They even aired some before Tom Baker was on. So this is probably 78, 77, somewhere around there. So I was a kid and I absolutely love Doctor Who. I've loved Doctor Who since I was a little kid for, this is, going on 40 something years here. I wanted to get the slab. I don't care what condition it is in. I had this book for 30 years and I just wanted to get it done. So 9.2, let me tell you, 9.2 is way better. God, if you could see how jacked up this spine is, let's see if we can get it on camera here. I'm never going to get it. Yeah, right there. This whole spine is jacked up all the way down. Hey, it's a ring light. Right there, you can see it. This book is in terrible condition. And you're me to tell me that this is the same as that Detective Comics 1000? The back has stains on it, but not complaining. So this is Marvel Premiere number 57, 1980, with the first American comic book appearance of Doctor Who. And of course, that's a Tom Baker. I have that scarf because of course I do, because I'm a nerd. So love this book. That was a fun one. That was a fun one. That put me in a better mood. That Detective Comics 1000 is clearly eating at me here a little. Okay. Batman, Harley Quinn. This is origin and first appearance of Harley Quinn in DC continuity. I honestly don't know if I know what this grade is. If that Detective Comics came in at a 9.2, I'm going to guess this came in at a 9.2. Well, let's see. No, 9.2. That's weird. Again, I'm going to say this. I can't see a single thing wrong with it. There's no, oh, there's a fingerprint on it, but that's certainly a new fingerprint. That's probably from the grader. There's a couple fingerprints on the back, but they weren't like stained fingerprints. They were fingerprints somebody could have just wiped off. So again, I predicted, 9.2, but it's probably better than a 9.2. The question is that worth cracking and resubmitting? Don't know, but beautiful cover, Alex Ross cover. I mean, I don't need to show you that again. You know that one. That's absolutely amazing. That's iconic at this point. So what year was this? 1999? Yeah. Great book. I read it. Can't say I care much about Harley Quinn, but I like the book and I love Alex Ross. Definitely better than a 9.2. God. And I'm sorry if I'm coming off as that whiner that says that my grades aren't good enough. I'm not, it's not like, I was submitting a Hulk 181 and I'm hoping for a 9.8 and I got a 9.6 and it's worth thousands of dollars less. I'm just giving you my opinion as I look at these. These are better grades than they're on there. Some days you get a good grader. Some days you get somebody having a bad day. They ran out of the coffee in the kitchen or something like that. So this book's definitely jacked up. Is that even a saying, jacked up? This book isn't in great shape. You could see that just if I look at there. I just want to do it. We bought this book in 1985, this series, I think. We love this. So I wanted to get it done. 9.0. 9.0, better than I thought. Why is every book that I think is going to be bad is good and then the opposite for the good? This book is in lousy shape. I'm going to be honest with you right now. This doesn't deserve a 9.0, but cool book. Not worth a ton, but fun. Newsstand. I mean, 1985. I don't even know why they bothered. It says on their newsstand. Was that important? 19, I could see if the book was from like 2005. So, fun book. Love Rocket Raccoon. Who doesn't love it? Rocket Raccoon. It was fun digging out these books when I started going through all the comics I kept. After I sold most of my collection, I sold tens of thousands and thousands of comic books, just bulk got rid of them. But I looked through, I had certain boxes that I kept that I knew were nostalgic stuff or stuff I wanted to keep or stuff that was expensive and things like that. I don't think I definitely gave away an Ultimate Fallout #4 that was in there and some Young Avengers and things like that because they weren't worth anything at the time. They were dollar bin books. But it was fun when I started going through the books like Rocket Raccoon and Harley Quinn and revisiting them and remembering them and stuff like that. So that part of it was definitely fun and getting them submitted. But what do we got here? Wolverine. This has a huge, you can see it from here, spine ticks on here. But this is, of course, an homage to an infamous EC book. Everybody knows it if you're into comic books. So I wanted to get this done just for display purposes. You're never going to see that spine tick when it's up there behind me. But I just absolutely love this cover. So, but it coming at a 9.4, which is pretty generous. It has color breaking spine ticks all up and down this spine. You can see 3 of them just right there. And this book is a 9.4, not complaining. But this book should probably be an 8. An 8? Oh, I can't figure anything. I'm certainly not selling you on CGC grading at this point. But awesome book. How fantastic is that? Tell me you love that. Let me know down in the comments if you love this book. If you have, does that work when we say, let me know in the comments? I don't know. Nobody comments. No, they do. And I love it. And I love responding to the comments too. Everybody's so cool. I love connecting with people and stuff like that. So I hope you're having fun in the comments and fun watching the videos and stuff like that, because I know I am. So what do we got next? Oh, that other Infinity Gauntlet. I don't know why one would be any better than the other. What was the other? A 9.4 or something like that? 9.6? Maybe they're both 9.6s or something like that. Cool. Yay, here's 2 worthless 9.6 Infinity Gauntlets that I could have spent my money on something else, but cool book. Anyway, you know, I loved this series when it came out. Obviously, it became important to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did I need to grade 2 of them? What did I think? I was going to get some big payday or something like that? 2 books left. 2 books left in here. And I will tell you, I really thought, oh, this is interesting. This is, oh, they gave me back the stuff from the insert from the Simpsons comic. Cool. The poster that was in there. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Because I told you that bag was polybagged, which means it was already in a bag that was sealed and it had poster in it. So they sent that back. That was nice. So very cool. All right, Killing Joke. This is from 1988. I think I have 2 copies of this. I don't know. I'm going to stop guessing what I think things are going to be coming in at because I'm woefully inaccurate. So let's just see what it is. 9.8. Okay. 9.8. Cool. I like that book. First print, right? Yeah, first print. Embossed cover. Yeah, I remember buying this book. I mean, it was all the buzz. Everybody bought this book. There's a billion of them. There's no shortage of the Killing Joke, but it is definitely amazing Alan Moore story and Brian Bolland artwork, you know, who of course collaborated on Watchmen, stuff like that. So, hey, 9.8, that's pretty good. No complaints there. That's pretty good way. That's the penultimate book. That was a pretty good way to end things. I thought that Harley Quinn was going to be a 9.8, and I hoped that was going to be a 9.8. So I got disappointed on one, and you know, another one came through. So let's see what the last book. Oh, another Killing Joke. This one is rougher. This one is definitely not a 9.8, and I know it's not an 9.8, and I'm not just playing silly. I know it's not a 9.8. It's a 9.4. Yeah. This one was definitely a little rough. I think this was read this a few times, but hey, 9.4. Maybe I was just hoping for the 9.8 in there, but I, why would I submit if I knew it wasn't as good as the other one? Why did I submit it? So there's a lot of lessons learned in here. Why are you submitting books? What are you hoping to accomplish? You know, why did I need to submit 2 Infinity Gauntlet #1s and 2 Killing Jokes when I knew this wasn't in as good a condition? I guess, like I said, I got a little slab happy here, but I mean, it's still an awesome book to have. I just don't need 2 of them. I have a 9.8 now, so I don't even need this one. So what do I do with this? Maybe Tom Anderson sells this on his Whatnot Silver Age comics guy who does my pressing. But anyway, that is the last book in the batch. I would say that I am probably only a little bit disappointed in it. But I knew it going in. I was disappointed when I looked back at my list of books, and I was like, why am I submitting some of these? So, but I had fun with it, and I'm glad I have a lot of these done. And maybe I will sell some of them, or maybe I'll do something with them. But it was a cool batch of stuff. That Sentry coming in at a #8, that Killing Joke coming in at a 9.8. A couple of other books coming in at better grades than I expected. So this was more of a fun submission, not a pricey submission. But so thanks for hanging out with me while I unbox these. I definitely get super excited to do this. I can't wait to open them up and look at them and get it on video and talk about them. Like this, I enjoy watching people do this on video and other YouTube channels. But the reality is I enjoy doing it and seeing them and stuff like that and capturing it. So it's kind of makes the experience even more fun. So thanks for joining me and hanging out with me. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. That definitely helps get more views so more people can enjoy these beautiful videos and these mediocre books. And yeah, so I appreciate it. So until next time, I'm Randy at Swarm of Comics. Thanks for joining me. Bye.